Hello, I'm Luis Alton. I'm a Brazilian Zouk teacher, and in this video here, I'm going to talk about the 3 huge mistakes that can ruin the experience of dancing with you. Well, in this channel here, we teach people how to feel more joy and confidence through their Zouk, and also how to take those things to their lives. Okay? So, if you like content like this, already subscribe to our channel and also send to a friend that want to feel more confident in the dance floor. Those mistakes, they are very basic, but at the same time, they are huge. So make sure that you're not falling in those traps. The first one that is basic is bad smells. Okay, so if you're going to dance, you wanna have a fresh breath, right? So if you just came from a dinner and you ate something with onion, right? It's very important that you have some gum or you take time to brush your teeth. This is basic, but sometimes we do have those bad experiences in the dance floor, and usually our beginners, right? The most advanced dancers, we usually don't have this problem. Even more, my guys, take care of your hygiene, right? Because in the dance floor, if you're smelling bad, the experience of dancing with you is already going to be a lot worse. And if you're smelling good, you don't even have to dance that well. Imagine that you get your room and you clean your room because you're going to receive someone there, right? But then this person gets in and is stinky. This person is not going to want to be in your room. So it's very important that you have a place that smells good too. The advanced dancers, they understand that dancing with them is a sensorial experience. So the smell of it also counts a lot. I also recommend that you buy a perfume that you really like, because when you go and you smell in the way that you really like, when you go dance with people, you will already think they're feeling this smell, and you already feel more confident. You already feel that they are enjoying being close to you. So it also helps a lot in the way that you move, okay? If you sweat a lot, it's very common to take another shirts to the social, so you dance a little. When you see that your shirt is already wet, you can change, so you have also this freshness. And if you're in a congress and you took lots of classes, take a shower before the social, because if you get to the social and you're already with old sweat in your body and everybody's fresh, you are going to be the one that is out. But if it's already in the end of the social and everybody is wet, you're not going to be the only one wet, so it's kind of accepted. This is basic, but this kind of complaints, they still happen. Also, if you're a follower and you're watching here, be careful with your hair. So if you have a hair that smells amazing, a lot of leaders will want to dance with you a lot more than if you have a hair that is not smelling that good, okay? Second mistake that can ruin the experience of dancing with you is if you hurt your follower, right? Imagine that you go to a barbershop to relax and the guy cuts you and you bleed. It's not a nice experience, right? Or if you go to get your nails done and the person takes a piece of your flesh that could be used to do a barbecue. You feel bad, it breaks your trust, so it's not good. The same goes if you get inside a car as a passenger and you feel like the driver is not being careful with the movements, he's being aggressive with this way of driving, he's changing the lines without looking at the mirrors, you're not going to feel safe. And also, it's not going to be a place where you can relax and enjoy the ride. So it's very important that you don't let the energy of the music or the energy that you're feeling make you not think about the follower's safety or be negligent about it, right? So we as leaders, we have to pay a lot of attention when we close our eyes, so we cannot close our eyes and go out moving around. When we do head movements, right? So all the time that you do head movements, you have to be very aware of the space to not hit the head of our followers. When we lead them to displays, to turns, to rotations, to counterbalances, when we lead cambres, oh my God, this is something that is crazy about our dance. Okay, so sometimes the boom of the music is coming and the leader gets so excited and he's about to do that. But then another leader that is at his side is also in the same way and to opposite direction. So both of them lead a cambre and boom, the followers hit their heads. You don't want to be this leader, right? If you're going to do a cambre, make sure that you have space, and there's also not leaders intending to use this space that you're intending to use. Something that happens and is also a cool moment is when the music is about to hit the boom, you prepare a cambre, and then you also see that another guy prepared, and then both of you look at each other and both of you don't do the cambre because you saw that both of you had the same intention, and then you change your role And there's this energy of like brotherhood, you know, of yeah, both of us were aware and both of us were taking care of our followers and listening to each other. And what you feel sometimes is also you have this intention, and the other person was also with the intention of using this space, but you do care, and you stop and you see that the other person doesn't stop, and they just go and they're not even paying attention. So in those moments you feel like, wow, this was dangerous. I'm glad that nothing happened, but you know, it was a risk. So as a leader, you want to always be aware of the space around you, and also the dancers that are around and their intentions of using the space. The third mistake that can ruin the experience of someone dancing with you is not knowing how to navigate flirt and also sensual and sexual energy. So let's talk about that. First, Zouk socials are a social environment, and just like any other social environment, just like a bar or a beach or a public place or a shopping mall, there are lots of different peoples with different intentions there, right? So some people, they are couples and they are already in a monogamic relation, and they are not wanting to create new romantic connections. But you also have single people that are there to have fun, and when single people, they feel attracted by each other, they connect and they have relations, and this is common, this is life, human nature, right? And in the dance environment is the same, and it's even more easy to those connections to happen because you have a place where the bodies are already connecting and taking care of each other, so it's very easy for you to start a conversation or to connect in general, right? At the same time, the dance is an artistic expression activity, so we can be very romantic inside that universe, and when the dance ends, it was just an artistic moment, and none of us have the real intention of keep going with that energy, with that vibe, with that exchange. So it's very important that you understand that and you learn how to navigate. But we also cannot be delusional and say that people don't flirt and people don't have relations inside the dance community. It's like that's not true. People connect just like any other community. If you go to a circus community, if you go to a yoga community, if you go to any place that people are having fun and connecting, you have also romantic connections happening. But in the same way that you're not going to go and hit a girl in a beach that is with her boyfriend, you know, you have to navigate those moments. The same goes to a social. And also, the dance can be a way that people that have romantic relations, they enjoy the body of each other, right? So they are dancing and feeling the pleasure of being touching each other. So sometimes this is a source of discussions in Zouk of how open we should be to romantic and sensual expressions in between dancers. And in my opinion, it's also very important to remember that when you see a video, a dance video, you're seeing two human beings interacting, and not necessarily you know their background, you know their relation, and you also don't know the environment and the situation that they are dancing to, right? So just like when you see two people having a conversation, they can talk about a lot of different stuff. They can talk about soccer, they can have a funny talk, telling jokes. They can also have a talk about sex, playing with their intention and flirting. And the same goes with dance, you know, but in the same way that I can have a conversation with my mom, and I can have a conversation with the girl that I'm going out, and I have a conversation with my friends, and all of those are conversations with different vibes and different topics and energies. The same goes to a dance, right? That is a way of having a conversation but through your body. That's why it's very important that you choose the subjects and the intentions accordingly to the vibe that you're having in the exchange in the dance. But Louis, how do I know that this girl that I'm dancing with is open for me to show that I'm interested on her? Well, the tip that I have for you is, because the dance is very open, and sometimes you can have a dance that is so romantic and you even touch the follower's lips if both of you are in that vibe, and when the dance finishes, you guys both embrace each other and there is no intention of keep going with this energy, was just that moment, was just that expression, you know, of connection there. You cannot assume that the intentions that the follower were bringing to the dance was actually what she meant, like she wants to go out with you. So how do you discover? What you can do is you have to somehow verbalize and transform this interaction in a verbal conversation, And then in this verbal conversation, you can show that you have intentions, romantic intentions of keeping this connection going in another place. So never try to kiss a girl in the middle of the dance floor, because you can be in that position of she was not wanting to connect romantically with you. She was just letting that vibe flow through that dance. And that's it. You know, if you have a dance and you want to keep going, you can say, wow, do you want to drink some water with me or drink something outside of the social or in from there? And then you keep a conversation, and then you have to be calibrated to show your intentions, you know? And the way that you're going to do this depends on your style. So that's it. So understand that when you go to a social and you have a dance, that's an artistic expression and not necessarily an invitation to something more intimate and romantic, right? So you have to be calibrated. Those romantic dances, they do exist, but you also can dance with friends. I also can dance with guy friends and really let go and surrender to the movements. I can dance with Ladi, and we can do carousel where our hips are touching each other and rolling on each other, but there's non-sexual intention on that. So it's a lot more about the intention that you bring behind it. And for you to be calibrated, you don't have to be delusional. You have to be present in the reality and be reading the signs and reading the feedbacks of your follower or the person that is dancing with you, for you to make sure that you're not in a vibe and the other person is not like in the same vibe, and you feel that awkwardness and the okay. Well, if this was helpful for you, subscribe to our channel. And if you want very technical tips about your head movements, we still have our head movements week open for you guys to watch, right? The classes are going to be available just until January 19th. So enjoy this opportunity of learning lots of great techniques about head movements. Thank you so much for being here with me. It was a nice time, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.